what's up out there in YouTube land on a very hot California morning? This is Vaughn B and Ricky here. So, how you doing, bro?
So far, good, man.
Yeah.
Just finished watching the House of Dragon right now. Just finished.
Okay. Yeah. While not that exciting, so a lot of world building. This thing keeps falling.
You want to start from the beginning?
Uh, well, from just my mic keeps falling down.
Make sure you put the spoiler.
Well, we're not gonna do that. First off, like as usual, what is your first impression of the episode?
I liked it, man. Everything. I just like the sound of the music where Damien and all that. Just sound like Damien's a badass. Pretty good at it. I mean, everything. I liked it.
Okay, so out of we need to come up with a numbering system. So, are we gonna do 1 through 5 or 1 through 10? What do you think?
1 to 10. I give it a 7.
Yeah, about 7.5. It's
Yeah,
like
not much action, but it was.
no,
It tells everything like kind of is foreshadowing everything. They're
right?
planning
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. So it was setting everything up for what's to happen next. So I'll give it a 7.5. All right, so let's get into the actual episode. All right.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, so it starts off well. So how does it start off again? With I think with Damon. Like when is it? When is this? Like you gotta help me out a little bit here, man. It's like
No, that was a little bit past. They mean they were still
okay,
that was a little bit far into the series, the episode.
okay, all right. Because I'm trying to remember how. Because like I just watched it. It shows you how screwed up my damn memory is. Like I literally just watched this.
Well, they're
So
preparing with Kristen Cole. Remember when he's standing there in the room,
oh yeah, yeah.
he's just standing and he's walking down the stairs, and his other
He
they're looking at him like all laughing at him,
yeah
they're
he's
sitting.
yeah I remember. Yeah, he sees the king's home, his little posse
Uh huh.
is kind of
And
lounging around the castle dressed up as the king's guards. It's
and they're
like,
just laughing at him. You see that when they just passed by and they stood up and they're just like laughing at him.
yeah, because basically he's like, yeah, you know you can't really boss us around kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he goes up to the council,
He already took over Otto Hightower's position.
right, and like because then we get a shot of them burying the twins. So like the twins are dead,
Hmm.
and Rhaenyra is like, I I can't really be that upset. I can't fault him for following his orders, kind of thing. So it's like that's very magnanimous of her.
It's so
Because most of
different from Aegon and Renea. He
Mhm.
wants peace and he wants war.
Yeah, because he's not suitable for
Went
the
by
especially
emotions and Renea. That's right, right? Did I say it right? Renea.
there's a dude that's like it's a little confusing, but
Yeah, because the Anne is also called Renee. Reina is the daughter of Damon.
mhm.
A lot of Renea,
Yeah,
right?
a lot of similar names. Yeah,
Yeah. So she's basically trying to make decision without emotions. You know what I mean?
hmm
Then compared to Aegon, he's going everything by emotions.
right, which makes him unsuitable to be king. Which is
Yeah.
which basically is what his father knew, and given how the story particularly ends, but we're gonna get to that later. So they're sitting in the council, and no, we like this is like after they bury the twins, and then you got like the two dudes on the field.
That was in the river. What do you call it? And river Riverlands.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
was
you got
two factions of because there's different castles there, different lords and
right,
shit like that.
right. So it's basically the Hatfield, the
One was
gist,
green, one is black.
yeah, the gist of the overall, like what you learn throughout the rest of the series, I mean, the rest of the show is that this is basically the Hatfields and the McCoys kind of thing, and these people have been fighting with each other for all kind of shit.
Mhm.
So you get the one dude who is for the Rhaenyra, and the other one is for Aegon.
Mhm.
Actually, what happens is it's a land dispute.
They're moving the rocks or the fence or something like that.
So the one that is for the blacks is like, dude, you move the rocks. It's
Mhm.
like this is our land. So the other guy, he's like, he looked like he didn't really want to fight, but kind of one of those things
Oh yeah,
where
you're insulting them and stuff. They're
right, so,
suspecting.
so they got in each other's face. Little bit of back and forth. He walks off. He says something about baby killer. He's like, what? He said like you're said the person that you are following killed the child and all this other stuff. Which causes the guy who's for the Greens pulls his sword out, puts it on the dude's chest, and it's like,
Oh, when he dares them, you
yeah, it's
tell
like
them
I dare
you
you.
won't do
And
it.
right, and then the next shot is the entire field is
That-
filled with dead people. It's like apparently he
yeah, they didn't
did.
even show it, right? They just showed the dead bodies, but they didn't never show showed it.
Right.
Show
I
a little
think
bit
that
of action.
that that gives you like how shit can go left really quickly,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it was a conversation about like
This
a wall,
land is moving the rock,
right?
fighting for the piece of land. There's one guy's moving the border from,
Right. So, but it was essentially it was just some bricks,
hmm
and I think and them instead of them having like this long drawn out fight, this actually had more of an impact because it was like everything was fine. These just two young men arguing, and then the next scene, like, dude, they had a dead horse in the river.
hmm
So it was like, what the hell happened here?
Yeah, because they're the green and are black. They're gonna fight for the Riverlands because that's like a main strategic place where they need the Riverlands, the
Mhm.
blacks because
Yeah,
of the North and the Vales. If
right. So
they take over, they can't. They're just gonna disrupt the North coming down.
yeah, and it's like with the one thing about, and especially if you like look at like actual history,
hmm
the amount of times shit like this happens is like a lot. It's like a lot. Is just one hothead in the wrong space at the wrong time says the wrong thing to the wrong person, and next thing you know, you got this fight.
Sparks everything, huh?
Right. So then that word of that gets back to King's Landing, and Aragon is like, no, we had a war kind of stuff, and it's like trying to figure out a way to take advantage of this particular thing. And everybody else is like, man, it's like we probably really shouldn't be getting into this. And especially his mother is telling him that.
The only thing about the ones that people that got killed at the Riverlands, that was the people, the blacks or the greens. They were for the greens or the blacks.
No, it was the Greens and the Blacks, but it looks like everybody just like anybody who was in this,
They just
everybody
massacred
died.
each other, huh?
Right, they just massacred each other.
Oh, okay.
Which right, so and like I said, that had more of an impact on seeing how just it was just a contrast of a normal conversation, and then it just like went off the rails. And then there's stoking stuff because you got this dude who's basically a sociopath sitting on the throne who is like, I've been insulted. She's trying to do this and blah, blah, blah. His mother is trying to calm him down. His grandfather was trying to calm him down. And like, he's the king. So like,
Mhm.
what the hell do you tell the king? And then he's surrounded by sycophants.
Oh, pure yes people.
Right. So everybody just all up in his ass. So anybody who's trying to talk, and then you got Cole, who is butthurt because Renaris didn't want to leave with him.
hmm
So he's out there act like just pure emotions.
Try and get a try and get revenge.
Right. So you got the blind leading the blind in this thing that's gonna just cause all this chaos and mayhem.
Yeah, and then after that, that's when in Dragonstone they show Renea with her advisors and everybody, and all the men were like, "We gotta go to war. We gotta go to war." And
Well, this you know what?
Renee, without emotion, she's like, "I'll think about it." She's telling them. They're like all frustrated.
Well, I mean they're frustrated, but her and the dragon riders know how bad this could get.
Yeah, dragon against dragon, they're gonna destroy Targaryen.
Right.
Targaryen. Yeah.
Right. So they know for a fact how bad this is going to get. The other dudes,
He
they're
knows
not
that.
really thinking about that. They're just thinking about, we need to do this and we need to do
Just say
that.
they will fight with the army, but no dragons. That's what.
Right. Because this will get really bad if we start doing this kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And who knows what happens. Right. But
Yeah, and then from there, what was it? Damon showed up at
yeah, that's when
Harrenhal, right? Harrenhal,
right.
the
Yeah.
biggest castle in the Riverlands.
Yeah. So he's sneaking around. I'm expecting a fight about to happen. And the only fight we got was him punching the hell out of some unsuspecting guard who would just, I don't know, just standing in the hallway.
Yeah,
Turns around. It's like this dude just
supposedly that's the biggest castle in all over Westeros, but
right
Aemon the Conqueror burned it
burnt it
down.
up. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's leaky. It has
haven't
lichen and
fixed
whatnot
it.
every place. So he busts into the thing. He keeps expecting a fight. They keep giving you indications that it's gonna be a fight, like from the bats and from the this, and he busts into the door, and the guy looking at him is like, "What's up?"
That's where the guy Renea's remember the guy that had her kids, the police,
Hmm.
that's his kids strong.
Yeah.
When he went with his dad and the other brother killed them, it was
Right.
same play. They burned it. He made it.
Same.
Kill both of them.
This was their liege lord. So this
Uh-huh.
guy is like their liege lord. So he was like, yeah, they're talking about his nephew, the club footed one. It's like, bro, we don't mess with that dude because
Yeah, they
like,
said
yeah,
the guy was saying he killed
he
that
killed
was
my
his brother,
nephew.
right?
Hey, no, it was his nephew. He's
Oh,
like he killed.
nephew, yeah.
Yeah, he killed my nephew and his son, but like they burnt to death. And this, as you can see, like it's constantly raining.
Yeah, that was
It's
in
like,
episode 1, right? Episode 1.
no, yeah,
No, no, season 1.
season one,
Yeah.
yeah, season one towards the end, where he consolidated his power because he wanted to get a higher position, and he couldn't do that by being what
Now
he
he got
was.
it.
Yeah, so he got an audience with the king because the king wasn't listening to him. You know, so
Yeah.
he's like, dude, it's like everything's on fire. It takes us forever to even light the fire because Damon looks at the fire and is like, dude, you got a fire like right over. He's like, well, it takes forever for us to light a fire. So if
Yeah, I
it takes
remember.
forever,
Yeah, because they always say in the books that everything Heron's Hall is cursed. Like
yeah.
it's like goals and this for some reason it's cursed there.
Yeah, because they have one of those trees, those
Mhm.
wolf, those wolf wood or something trees.
It's so funny, huh? He just shows up, one man guy, and takes the whole house by himself.
Dude, they ain't trying to fight. It's
No,
like
that's not. They just gave up, and
it's
the
like, dude,
guy bent the knee and right away.
yeah, like, bro, I'm not trying to fight over this shit, man.
Yeah,
It's like this dude is this guy is actually listening to my psychotic nephew who killed my other like my who killed his dad. I'm
mhm.
like, it's like. So he's like, well, can't we? So why do you want this castle? It's like, because it's falling apart. He's like, well, this is the biggest castle, and we can do like the legions together. And then the guy's like, but it's falling apart. It's like
Yeah,
you
there was
can't,
all leaks everywhere, huh?
right?
And he didn't want
So
to eat too. Remember, he said he was trying to poison me or something. So the guy,
the guy was like, dude, we're on your side, bro.
yeah,
It's
he was all
like,
paranoid. And
yeah, we're
even
not
remember
trying to kill you,
yeah, he put that sword in his room so they didn't
right?
try to get in.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, for the thing. Yeah. So Rhaenyra decides to send off her smaller children.
Hmm.
All right.
It's what was it? Not Bela, Reina,
Yeah.
Damon's the one that
The
lost the
youngest daughter. Yeah. The reason why the other guy has one eyeball.
dragon. He took her dragon.
Right. He took her dragon. So she's feeling bad because I guess she feels impotent because she doesn't have a dragon. And she's like, Rhaenyra's is trying to tell her, like, I am trusting you with my
For
children
my children and the dragons.
and the dragon eggs. I'm trusting you with a lot of stuff. It's like, you can take it as a compliment, it's like that because I'm trusting you.
Yeah, because she just in case they die in Dragonstone or something, there's still people in the
Yeah,
area
yeah. You got the heirs for both.
and dragons.
Yeah, heirs for the drag. You got the dragons. You got the heirs for both the seafaring folks and for themselves.
Hmm.
So it's like I am trusting you with a lot. So it's like do not take this as like, but I need you to sacrifice for this. But
That's what
being,
this other sister said, right? Bela, the her
yeah,
sister was telling us, like, take
right,
it as a, like, compliment.
yeah. But their grandfather was like, yeah, but if I was them, I wouldn't like this either. But it's like somebody got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have them here
One has to
and
sacrifice for something, for
right,
the better of all.
yeah. So she winds up like, so the guy who is the leader of what's the name of their faction? The
The which one? The black guy?
yeah,
Corcus Valerian? Is it
okay.
Corbus Valerian?
I don't know, dude.
I forget his name. I have to. I'll look up his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so he's having a heart to heart with his wife
Uh huh.
about, you know, she doesn't want him to go out and fight anymore because she
Yeah,
don't want to lose him.
Corlys, Corlys, Corlys Valerian.
Okay, so he doesn't want to go. Like he wants to go, but she doesn't want him to go because she don't want him to die because
Mm-hmm.
she almost died from the last time he was out. She's probably looking at him as like, bro, you getting kind of old, man. It's like you
She
need
already
to
lost her son too. Remember?
right, right. So she doesn't want to lose any more family. She lost a daughter, son's gone. They
Oh
gotta
yeah,
put
Damon when the dragon burned her.
yeah. So
Mhm.
then it's like the grandkids have to go into hiding. So it's like she's just losing a lot. So, like they have a little heart to heart. He's like, it's gonna be all right. So I'm like, nah, and is the thing that I'm like when I'm tripping on this is because there's a lot of story. So it's not too much action, but they're
No, it's
filling in.
basically they're foreshadowing. They're already
Yeah, they're
kind of
laying the
foreshadowing.
foundation for what's gonna happen in the later episodes,
Mm-hmm.
which can come across kind of as a filler. But it's written well enough, and the ending was well enough to is like get you excited about what happens next.
And
So
then after that was Christian Cole was preparing to with the army,
right, and
and
then
then Allison brought her
sends
brother.
right, who's kind of like
That guy like a jerk, huh?
right. Well,
Like a know it all. He knows everything.
no, he's a noble. So he's a
Mhm,
noble talking to a guy he's looking at is like who one he thinks stole his dad's job,
mhm,
and then he's a commoner who stole his dad's job.
mhm.
So he's giving him crap about it, and then he turns around and sees it. His sister's kind of
He
a
kind of
little.
suspected something. He
Well,
suspected.
dude, you can kind of tell when people like each other. It's like you can kind of sniff that out.
Yeah, you
So
could
he's
tell by the way he was looking at her.
right, and then she hands him something. Then he looks at the thing that and then like it's one of those things where it would be very surprising if everybody in the castle didn't know that they were bumping each other.
Hmm.
But everyone just pretends. But I guess it's probably how it worked in those days. It's like you just pretend.
Yeah,
Like I ain't want no part of whatever this is. So it's like I'm not looking for it like at everything. So they head out with their army to go. I think they were heading over to the river,
very relentless. Uh-huh.
right? So because they were trying to,
They're
they
trying
would
to reach the Heron Hall, but the problem they don't know Damon's already there.
right. So they're because they're trying to get to that army before he does,
Hmm.
and but they don't know the situation. How that dude just kind
But
of like
but remember, Amen was gonna stay at King Landing, and
mm,
Aegon was gonna go, right?
yeah,
And remember when he's preparing himself, he's all suited up and everything, and that
mm,
guy comes over, strong.
yeah,
The guy looks like Littlefinger.
yeah. The
He
clubfoot
tells
guy, yeah,
he tells him like, "What are you doing?" Like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to war," and everybody, yeah, they're pumping him up.
yeah. Because this is they're his hype men.
And then when the guy talks to him,
Mhm.
he regrets it. Like, okay, no, I'm not gonna go.
It's like maybe you don't want to do this. I was like, I don't want to have to mourn you if they kill you.
Yeah, that was funny in a way.
Well, because
Hilarious the way he was all pumped up, but then after he heard somebody telling him something, the truth, he backed
well,
out.
what is he like 19? So he's like something like 19. He's surrounded by all his homeboys who just gas
Mhm.
his ass up about
They just
whatever.
get drunk and stuff like that.
Right. So then after Clubfoot guy leaves, they like looking at each other and they say, "Hey, there's a new guard who like he hasn't had any sex yet."
Hmm.
So we was thinking about taking him out and
To the
to
whorehouse.
the spot.
Hmm.
So Aragon looks at him as like, you're supposed to be Chase, right? He's like, so they're like, sure, yeah, we're gonna be Chase. And this kind of looks at him and they go like, you're Grace? They're like, is he serious? Then he smiles. It's like, yeah, I'm fucking with you. It's
What
like, I
was
don't
that
care.
guy when they went to the like that bar, the whorehouse? The guy was
Mhm.
saying that he's the uncle of Aegon, and like he's the bastard brother of.
I'm not exactly
It's
sure
like he was
because I
a
listened
con
to
artist, like a
not what
con artist guy.
it could be because I was listening to somebody else who knows more about their story, and they were just the impression I got from them is that this guy is essentially just like one of those guys who just makes shit up.
That's what I'm saying. A con man. He's like a
Right.
con man.
So he's talking all this trash and like the true air and blah blah blah. And then as he's talking, Aragon and his crew shows up.
Hmm.
He turns around and immediately like, "Hail King!" and like blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Right.
everybody kissing ass.
Right. So he started kissing this dude's ass and he looks a little nervous. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe there's something to that, and we'll find out later. All right. So they
They're
go through
walking. Yeah,
hmm?
when he's taking the kid, the
the new guy with
yeah,
the King's
then
Guard.
they find Amen there.
Right. So they're going through all the stuff, and it's like this room is filled up with these people doing this. Then it cuts to someone giving a BJ. I was like, okay, wasn't I was not expecting that. Then they get to
Yeah,
an
that's the
orgy.
first time I've seen the King a Game of Thrones. They showed that.
Right. So I was like, oh, okay. All right. So all right. So they get to the last one because he's looking for a specific person,
Hmm.
and he finds her with his brother. And
Amen.
then right proceeds to talk shit
And
about his
Barry,
brother.
basically, I took it like he got mad. Like Amen got mad because he's like embarrassing him in front of the
Right.
other people.
But
I
he
thought he
don't.
was gonna punch him.
No, he can't. But he can't do that. But he already told him that I should be the one that's king because I have the biggest dragon, and I'm not an idiot like you.
I study. I train with the sword and stuff like that.
Right. And you just a friggin' fuck up who just happened to be born first.
Hmm.
So you already kind of know how he feels about him, and his family kind of treats him like you got like a guard dog, and you need the guard dog, but you don't really trust the guard dog, and you keep an eye on when he's in the room with you because you're kind of worried about what he's gonna do,
Hmm.
and that's kind of how they treat him. And it looks like you're frozen again there, Ricky.
I did, huh? I froze.
Yeah. Can you cut your camera off, or you can leave? Okay. No, so they kind of treat him like he's a like one of them pit bulls that are trained to be like a in for dog fights, right? So I don't know exactly what's going on with Ricky, so I guess he'll be back when he can, and I'll see if I can muddle through the rest of this. So he gets he stands up, he's butt ass naked. I'm like, what the? I'm like, okay, there's two things in a row I didn't really feel like seeing, but that's kind of Game of Thrones works. So he tells him that like you can have this horror, and he walks off, butt ass naked, showing full frontal friggin' everything. It's like, okay, so I wonder what's going on with my boy there. All right, so I'm just like I am trying to muddle through this. So after that, Rhaenyra decides that she needs to talk to because she talks to her counsel again, who is also trying to get her to unleash the dragons because they find out what happened with like oh now I remember. The second meeting happens because her stepdaughter, Damon's daughter, is who she has flying reconnaissance, looking over the valley, spots a troop, like a group of guys on horse. The guys on the horse are the Queen Dowager's brother, who doesn't want to go hang out because one, he's not respecting Cole, and he wants to go hang out at an inn and not hang out and sit out in a forest. So Cole catches up to him. He's like, dude, what you doing out here? He's like, well, I want to go to this and I heard about it. It's not that it's not too far. It's like, well, we got to stick with the crew. He's like, nah, I don't feel like doing that. giving him all kind of disrespect. And then Cole is like getting frustrated, and then he looks up and he looks into the clouds and he sees a black little speck. So first he doesn't know what it is, but then once he figures it out, it's like, oh crap, it's a dragon. So they haul ass for the forest. So as they're riding, the lady on the dragon drops down, comes right at them. They make it to the forest, and then she pulls up, and then she's circling around. So there's a chance that she might not have seen them. She saw somebody down there, but they're not sure whether or not she saw them. So that's when it cuts to the next meeting, because she told them that I saw Cole and I didn't do anything, because she could have burnt them all up. And it seems to be like a lot of that stuff with this particular series is misunderstandings, misconceptions, things that could have taken care of fixed problems if they would have actually been more aggressive at the time. But because they were told things to not do stuff, they weren't that aggressive. So she lets them go. She flies back to Rhaenyra, tells them what happened. Her advisors go, all right, look, we got to do something about this. And she's like, I don't know, got to think about it. It's like, well, he's heading over to that castle, and we have not heard from Daemon yet. So we don't know what's going on with that. So we got to take care of this. So she's trying to caution them. It's like, look, you don't truly understand what would happen if we unleash these dragons. It's like, it's not going to be good. You think it's just going to be a quick end to this war, and it's like, it's not going to be what you think. So she's trying to keep a cool head. So eventually she goes down to talk to the White Lotus. Like I said, I'm bad with names. So I'm trying to talk to the White Lotus and trying to figure out if she can go talk to the dower, like her former friend who was married to her dad, and the mother of Aegon. I can't remember what her name is. So trying to talk to her is like, look, we need to squash all this stuff, because as she was looking through her kids' stuff, she saw that the letter that she sent her saying, look, I didn't mean for this to happen. So it's like, all right, she doesn't want to seem to fight a war. So all right, so she doesn't want to fight a war, so she goes to talk to the White Lotus and say, all right, I need to get into King's Landing so we can have a conversation, because if I try to do a mutual sight, she's not going to believe me, and she's going to think I'm trying to kill her or something like that. So eventually they come up with a plan where she dressed up like a scepter. I think that's what they're called. And she sneaks into landing, and she goes to have a conversation with her, because she goes to light candles, I guess, for all the departed. So everybody who's died. So she goes to go light a candle, and she's just down next to her, and they start to have a conversation, and they go back and forth. Essentially, this conversation is too late. All right. The way everything breaks down in the end is like everything is too late. Too much stuff has happened. So even if they were to try to squash this, it might be too late. So it's like, so they start to hash out stuff to break out the misunderstanding. So one of the misunderstandings that Rhaenyra is like, dude, you stole the throne from me. He's like, no, your dad's at the last minute said that he was going to name my son as the king. So they go back and forth some more. Come to find out that all the king did was tell her about the Song of Ice and Fire, which was about basically the story about Jon is essentially the Lost Prince, which is Jon Snow. So that's what's gonna happen later on in the future for the regular Game of Thrones. So he mentions Aegon, but the Aegon that he was trying to tell her about, because he was trying to let her know about, because I remember he thought it was Rhaenyra, so he thought it was her. So that's why he reiterated that story, and he mentioned Aegon. So she thought that he meant that he wanted Aegon to be king. It's like he didn't. So she realized that. As soon as she realized that, she was like, shit. She started this whole thing off of misunderstanding. That seems to be like the gist of most of this shit is the High Towers do stuff, and there's a repercussion to the thing that they cause, and they just completely ignore the fact that they caused all this stuff. It's like her son loses his eye because he stole a dragon from Rainier. He stole her dragon. So it's like everything that happens is because like it's they initiated. So eventually she realized that they stole the throne from her, and that Rhaenyra is like actually correct in her assumption. So it's like when you got to go tell people, it's like I can't tell people. It's like it's too late. So the episode basically ends on that realization. It's like crap. It's like all right. So then it kicks off into the next. Like I saw some clips for the next thing for the next episode. And essentially everything's gonna pop off because at this point Rhaenyra realizes there's nothing that's gonna stop this war. So if I can't stop it, then I might as well win. You know. So all right. So anybody out there who that's just a brief synopsis. We missed over a couple of things, but if you want to go, you should go check it out because it's about an hour long. We like I said, we skipped over a lot of stuff. So this is kind of the gist of the episode. All right. So while I'm still waiting for Ricky to come back, I'm getting into another topic. So I'm gonna cut this off. No more spoilers. So I can find this thing that I saw. Actually, Captain America. There we go. All right. I found out recently that the Captain America 4 Black Captain Falcon American Captain guy, which is a movie that is probably going to flop. Because this particular let me close this. They got all this shit. All right, so let me cut over this so you can see what the hell I'm talking about. All right. So, Captain America Brave New World reshoots reportedly balloon budget to $375 million, which is insane. You look at these movies that they pay all this money for, and you really cannot see what the hell they're paying. Like, what is it? But from what I understand, it has a lot to do with the special effects because they don't plan any of these movies out. It's like Dune 1 and 2 cost like $100 and something million. And the reason why they cost $100 and something million is because they did pre-planning, pre-production. They did everything you're supposed to do before you shoot it all. And it's like you make storyboards, you work your entire movie out from beginning to the end. You sit down with all like what your producers and all that stuff, and you work on the story so that it's like, okay, this works, that doesn't work, that seems to meander, that dialogue seems to be off. So you work it out when you're just using paper and pencil. The way Marvel seems to do it is they start the pre-production, they start filming shit, they get partially through, and then they realize that, well, this is a bunch of crap, so we need to reshoot again. So I think this movie was done. So this movie was finished. It was called something. It was called New World Order. Then a bunch of political stuff happened. The how I can say this. The direction of the country in terms of how they feel about stuff changed. All right. So it's like, well, we can't call this that. So we're gonna change it to something else. All right. So that's why they changed it to New World Order. So let's see if we get any information here. If Marvel Studios production problems with Blade weren't bad enough, oh, those are terrible. I don't know why they have such an issue with Blade. The guy that got to be him would make an excellent Blade. Just make a kick-ass kung fu freaking, just like the first one. Make a kung fu movie where he's kicking ass, he's doing backflips, killing all kinds of vampire. Give me a big bad vampire, have him big fight at the end. That I don't know why that's so difficult. A supposed insider reporting that thanks to recent round of reshoots, the budget for Captain America Brave New World has gotten absolutely out of control. This is Captain Sam Wilson, and that outfit looked ridiculous. Despite facing such threats as Hydra, the Flag Smashers, even Thanos, Sam Wilson's biggest challenge yet has proven to get his debut solo film off the ground. I would much prefer if they made a Falcon movie as opposed to whatever the hell this crap is going to be. Announced immediately following the series finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I watched 2 episodes of that and I got pissed off and I quit. Essentially, I got to the point where Sam Wilson and Bucky were arguing with each other in some black neighborhood someplace, and then the cop pulled up on them, asked Bucky if this basically is this black guy was bothering him and was trying to arrest him. And I'm like looking at this, I'm like, this dude was one of the Avengers. This like one superhero team on planet Earth. This dude was part of it. He would be insanely famous, like crazy famous. So these cops would absolutely know who the hell he is. So that whole thing was just, it was so stupid. I didn't watch any more of that show. All right. So, however, thanks to a combination of the 2023 Hollywood Guild strikes, Marvel reshuffling their entire production slate later this year, the film is eventually delayed to its current release date of February 14th, 2024. It's like, yeah, this one, like in terms of the costume, this one doesn't look terrible, but making this live action, it seems to be very difficult. All right. Like all movies, Brave New World was allotted a brief period following its principal photography to conduct reshoots, with filming of which started in May 2024 and lasted roughly 22 days. But rather than a simple staggered round of additional photography, the reported widespread rejection of the film's initial cut by test audiences instead of resulting in reshoots being used to make a number of massive changes to the overall film. All right. Including the complete removal of the previously filmed Serpent Society plotline, starring Seth Rollins, the introduction of a new, as of yet unidentified villain played by Giancarlo Esposito, and the addition of more action scenes. So basically, they're shooting an entirely new movie, which that would explain why you get $375 million. And that doesn't even count, like, once they have it done, to advertise and all that stuff, which is going to make that up until like $600 million, meaning that this movie has to make at least $1 billion. As of this moment in this year, we've only had one movie make $1 billion, which is Inside Out Part 2. Everything else has not even made close to that. So maybe they're hoping there's going to be some kind of, I don't know, resurgence in television, movies for next year. I doubt it, because regardless of whatever happened with the election, I can't imagine anything's going to get any cheaper anytime soon. All right, so given how labor intensive they seem, many speculated that these reshoots would end up costing Marvel Studios far more than they're looking to spend. I can imagine, especially in light of Disney's overall goal of getting better handle on their falling finances. At the end of May 24, purported Marvel Studios insider at the Hollywood Reporter's Boris Kett said, regardless of the film's extensive restructuring, the Brave New World's price tag will come significantly less than the reported $270 million it cost to make the Marvels. Again, another movie when you're like, why did that movie cost that much? Unfortunately for Marvel, it seems that this claim may have been nothing more than either misinformed optimism or blatant PR fluff. Relaying information allegedly relayed to him by contact deeply embedded in the current Brave New World reshoots, the world of Reel's Jordan Rumi reports that on top of already confirmed budget of $275 million, this reshoot said they'll cost the Disney anywhere between $75 to $100 million. That is just nuts. To this end, Rumi's contact opine is like they're shooting a brand new movie. Like I said, should this figure turn out to be the film's actual budget, the standard true budget equation of the double the reported numbers suggests that the next Captain America film will need to make anywhere in the range of $700 to $750 million in order to even think of breaking even. In light of Marvel Studios' recent string of failures, all one can say in response to this news is good luck. I think they have a picture of what the villain's gonna look like. I know I saw it on someplace. Bro, that is like insane. That is seriously insane how they think that. All right, so I can find it. Like, that is nuts. I don't even know how the hell do you. It's like, how can you possibly continue to do stuff like this? Especially given how little amount of money these movies are making nowadays, because apparently Disney has completely forgotten how to actually make profit on friggin' anything. It's like nobody's watching their TV shows, nobody's watching anything because one, none of us have any money. I don't know about you. I know I ain't got no money for any of this shit. So if I'm gonna go out and watch anything, it's gonna be something that I know that I'm gonna like. And nothing about what Marvel has been doing recently gives me any impression of that like at all. So I don't know. Like dude said in the article, good luck, man. All right. So I don't know if Ricky's gonna be able to make it back. So I think I'm just gonna finish this out, do one more story, and call it a night. So let's see if I can find a thing that this is what I wanted to talk about. Let me see. Share my screen. All right. Okay, let me go back to the big head. So this one, the next article that I'm gonna check out is something to do with it's like AI. Like AI has been a big ass thing lately. They got I think there's a music production two. There's like two of them where I think you put in prompts and it will give you like music. Essentially, but what it's giving you is a combination of other people's stuff. That's kind of how all this AI stuff kind of works, where it doesn't create anything. It just takes pieces of all the stuff that you input from people who are actually drawing things or making things or whatever, and it cobbles it together into like this gumbo of stuff. That's why you wind up with these weird things where like the hands have like 6 fingers and all this other crap. But so they got two studios are being sued, mostly because of they're using copyrighted stuff. So this is a TV show that has AI elements. So let me see if I could pull this thing up. All right. So PBS unveils Layla in the Loop, a new series which will feature interactive episodes with AI assisted conversations. Okay. PBS Kids has unveiled Layla in the Loop, a new interactive animated series incorporating AI. Oh, I just said this. I hate when they do that. With its main character. According to the broadcaster, AI will not only feature in the show's production, but the ethical use of the technology will be addressed in one of the series episodes as well. What does that even mean? It's like, are you ethically stealing people's stuff? I'm like, I don't know how that works. Okay. How will the show be using AI? Show producers will create an interactive episode that integrated AI assisted conversations with Lila. During these episodes, Lila will ask viewers questions, and the program will then use responsive AI technology to understand what the viewer says and respond accordingly. Which specific technology will be used to collect answers or craft responses aren't specifically or specified in today's release. Episodes will then be researched to assess the children's learning and engagement before release to audience sometime thereafter. Okay, I'm trying to. What does that even mean? It's kind of weird. So it's gonna be interactive. Where are they talking to the television, or is it like, look, that sounds a little creepy. It's like, who knows what this thing will be showing your children? It's like, is it an Alexa thing? Because I got Alexa in the back where I can cut my lights off and on, but it also listens to you. Because you ever notice how you can be having a conversation with somebody about something, and then the next time you go into like Amazon or something like that, the thing that you were talking about mysteriously shows up in your recommends. Yeah, it's because your phone is listening to your ass. So I don't know about this, man. So see if they give it any more detail. Seems a little odd, but it seems odd, but it also feels like direction that everything is going into. Because most people, well, I can say most people, far too many parents use this thing to babysit their children. So imagine in the future when this thing will be able to have conversations with your kids. And given how a lot of people don't particularly pay that much attention to what their kids are doing a lot, so this could open up a whole can of worms. And like, I don't know. I think maybe hopefully these people mean well. I don't know how this is gonna work. All right. How is the series going to address the ethical use of AI? According to a PBS Kids release, the show will feature a storyline where Layla helps her sister navigate the ethics of creating an art project, showcasing an age-appropriate example of current questions surrounding the use of real world AI tools. That doesn't actually explain that. That actually doesn't explain anything. It's like, what the hell? But it is a press release. That's kind of how corporations work, I guess. All right, who's making the show? Layla and Luke were created and showrun executive, blah, 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 blah. Emmy Warren Studio, Pipeline Studio, animating the show. Francois Hyman is okay. I don't care about none of that. The show will consult with several external advisors with a PhD, clinical assist professor, yeah. Um, Layla Loop follows Lila, dynamic 7-year-old who lives in a big city with her close-knit family, fantastical blue sidekick Stu, a host of relatable and quirky characters in her community who use creative and strategic problem-solving, critical thinking skills to address a range of everyday problems together. A new series. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. That seems a little suspect, but I think this is probably one of those things where it is like it's not for me. It's not from anybody of my particular generation. It's like all this other stuff, like the chip in the head. I'm not gonna get the chip in the head. Most of you probably not gonna get the chip in the head, but it's not geared towards people my age. It is geared towards, and this is what I tell a lot of people. It's like if you want to see how the way the world is going, go see what 15-year-olds are into. All right. So you go see what they're into, and that will tell you basically the direction that the world is changing in. You can sit up there and protest with your old ass, but that ain't gonna change shit. So we're gonna have the chips in the head thing, and they're gonna have the AI cars that'll drive up to your house, pick you up, drive you to wherever you need to go, drive and leave you there, and come pick your ass up later. That's gonna happen. It's kind of inevitable. So unless some kind of, I don't know, like a solar flare or some shit like that happens, that's the only way I can see that not going that thing. But there is one thing that is kind of applies to that. Yeah, here it is. All right. We're gonna end on this note. All right. Okay, Morgan Freeman slams AI voice imitations of himself. Thanks fans for calling out the scam. Oh, okay. So I was actually convinced that he was going to be talked into like letting the AI do his voice, because there's been a couple of people who sign up for this where after they're dead, they'll companies will still be able to use their voice for stuff. So I think James Earl Jones did it. So that means that Darth Vader is going to sound like Darth Vader forever, which to me is a little creepy. I was kind of creeped out when they did the Michael Jackson AI thing, when he's sitting up there dancing around, and I'm like, I can see how his family would exploit this and put in it. They'll have Michael Jackson out on tour doing new songs, because if you heard the AI stuff, like some of these people are cooking up like this, especially like this Tupac stuff, dude, he sounds like Tupac. There's a song with him, Tupac, DMX, and Nate Dogg, and it sounds like a song that Tupac, DMX, and Nate Dogg would have done. Music sounds like legit, like he was something that he would have picked, and it's crazy how good it sounds, to the point where it's like super creepy. So Morgan Freeman shared a note giving thanks to his fans Friday morning, expressing gratitude for users' efforts to calling out unauthorized AI imitations of the actor's recognizable voice. He celebrated the celebrated 87-year-old actor has become a legend for his narrative skills in the March of the Penguin, Shawshank Redemption, $1 Million Baby, so on and so on. All right, okay, this, yeah. Sterling reputation of Freeman's voice has made him a particularly popular target of AI generated voice imitations, including a recent viral series of TikToks created by a woman posing as the actor's Nepo niece. See if we can find this and see what it sounds like. Okay. Maybe. All right, hold on. See if we can. Share this tab instead. Okay. All right. All right. What the hell? You gonna play it or just gonna show? I don't want to see pictures of this chick. No, block. What the hell? So they're not gonna play it. Okay. What the what the hell, dude? Seriously? Some chick just up and decided one day just to start using Morgan Freeman's voice. Like she don't. What kind of world are we fucking living in, dude? Where someone can just up and decide one day, just start using your voice for stuff. And she's using it in a TikTok. Man, I don't know. But on that note, what a world, dude. So thanks for y'all for hanging out for the little bit of time there. I wish we would have had a better conversation, but you know, we have computer issues and whatnot. So on behalf of my friend Ricky and myself, this is the UN podcast, and this is episode 46. I'm not sure what we're gonna do when we hit episode 50, but please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have anything to say about what I said today, let me know in the comments below. Peace.